Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. It's gone? Okay, because it's not on power, so it will reconnect. Okay. All right, so while this comes up. Hare Krishna. So, very grateful to all of you for giving this opportunity to speak something from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So today the topic has been given is from the 15th chapter of first canto, which talks about the Pandavas retire timely. It's a beautiful chapter, lot to learn, and especially the verse which is given is very important for all of us, especially in this world where we are living. Yeah, so we will speak something from there, but let me begin with Mangalacharan. You see it? Oh, it's not connected. All right, so I need to do that connection. Okay. See it? Perfect. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya. Together we can sing? Yeah. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nascha Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatam Aham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. So before we enter into this chapter, we need to see what is the context, why this chapter is coming here. So let us first understand what's happening before that. So before this chapter, when Arjun returned from Dwarka to Hastinapur, he is very dejected, he is very disappointed, he is very morose. He is not in his own real mood that he was. And therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking lots of questions to him. So, when he asks questions, obviously Arjuna has seen what happened in Dwarka. He knows that Krishna is gone back to his home and he is feeling intense separation from Krishna, and therefore he is not even able to speak to him. So, what are the questions which are asked? The 10 questions which are asked, right? What are those? Is your health okay? Has somebody disrespected you, right? Are you addressed with some unfriendly words? All these are like insulting things. If you see all this, or something which is not as per dharma, like you. So one of the words that we are going to talk about is the defeated, because today that's what our topic is, defeated. So these are the questions which Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking Arjun, and because of this strong emotion, Arjun is not even able to speak. His throat is choked. Many times we have seen that when we are singing or doing something, we just choke up and we can't speak. So that's what is happening here. Okay. So these are the questions asked. Now let's reflect on to this. So let's read the translation for the verses. So let's go by that. So we can start from here. Yeah, please go ahead. Translation only.
Suta Goswami said, Arjuna, The celebrated friend of Lord Krishna was grief-stricken because of his strong feeling of separation from Krishna. Over and above all, Maharaj Yudhishthir's speculative inquiries.
Yeah. Yes, Mother.
Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and lotus-like heart had dried up, therefore his body lost a luster. Now, remembering the Supreme Lord, he could hardly utter a word in reply.
Thank you.
With great difficulty, he checked the tears of grief that smeared his eyes. He was very distressed about Lord Krishna, who was out of his sight, and he increasingly felt affection for him.
Jai. Yes.
Remembering Lord Krishna and his well-wishes, benefactions, invade familial relations, his chariot driving, Arjuna, overwhelmed and breathing very heavily, began to speak.
So till now he is not able to speak. Now he'll start speaking. So you can see how much he is, overwhelmed with a lot of emotion for Krishna. So now what is happening in this verse is he's going to recall all the experiences with Lord, right? And see what happens here. So, yes.
Arjuna said, O king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. Thus, my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me.
Yes.
I have just lost him whose separation for a moment would render all the universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life.
Jai. Thank you. Now he is going to talk about what all things have favored have happened to him. Okay, so first was obviously winning Draupadi's hand. This was a favor, right? So he's remembering all this, not in a particular order, but he's just recalling one after another. Yes.
Only by his merciful strength was I able to vanquish all the lusty princes assembled at the palace of King Drupad for the selection of the bridegroom. With my bow and arrow, I could pierce the fish target and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi.
Jai.
Because he was near me, it was possible for me to conquer with great dexterity the powerful king of heaven, Indradeva, along with his demigod associates, and thus enabled the fire god to devastate the Khandra forest. And only by his grace was the demon named Maya saved from the blazing Khandra forest. And thus we could build our assembly house of wonderful architectural workmanship, where all the princes assembled during the performance of Rajasuya Yagna and paid your tributes.
Thank you. Jarasan defeat. Yes.
Your respectable younger brother who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants killed by his grace Jarasandha, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarasandha's Mahabhairava Yagna, but they were thus released. Later they paid tribute to your majesty.
Offenders to Draupadi. Yes, Prabhu.
It was only he, it was he only who loosened the hair of all the wives of the miscreants, who dared open the cluster of your queen's hair, which had been nicely dressed and sanctified for the great Rajasuya sacrificial ceremony. At that time she fell down at the feet of Lord Krishna with tears in her eyes.
Yeah. So here there is one learning that we should understand. What is this word used? Miscreants who dared open the cluster of your queen's hair. Now, Draupadi is a very dear devotee of Krishna. So when we offend a devotee, all calamity will come. If we are not able to, chant, we are not able to do the service that we were doing with that rigor and more importantly, the consciousness through which we render service, then we should try to understand that something must have happened wrong. We should try to recollect what all would have happened in my life. Did I say something harsh? Did I not respect someone? Did I do something? We may not do it, but there could be an intention behind doing it, right? Those kind of things. So examples which are given here, is in the 5th canto, where Jad Bharat and King Rahuguna, he speaks. So King Rahuguna, after understand that Jad Bharat is not a normal person, he says that I'm not afraid of anything in this world, But I am afraid of offending a Brahmana, like a Vaishnava. If you offend a Vaishnava, it's a very big offense. Right? In the 10th canto also, it is mentioned what happens, what all goes away. Look at all this thing goes away from us if you offend a Vaishnava. This happened to Kamsa because he offended a Vaishnava. He wanted to kill Krishna's loving friends and devotees in Vrindavan. And therefore he lost all this. His life was shortened. He lost all the Shriyam, Yasho, Dharma, everything went. So this is one learning that we can take from here, that we have to be very careful from offending anyone. Anyone. It could be neophyte devotee who just started coming to the temple, right? We should not take this very lightly. So this is very important. So now let's continue. Yeah, Kamsa is gone. So we were saved from, yes, Honorable.
During our exile, Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples, intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble. At that time, he, Lord Krishna, simply by accepting the remnants of food, saved us. By his accepting food thus, the assembly of Munis, while bathing in the river, felt sumptuously fed, and all the three worlds were also satisfied.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
It was by his influence only that in the fight I was able to establish the personality of Lord Shiva and his wife, the daughter of Mount Himalaya. Thus he, Lord Shiva, became pleased with me and awarded me his own weapon. Other demigods also delivered their respective weapons to me, and in addition I was able to reach the heavenly planets in present body and was allowed a half elevated seat.
Sure.
Days as a guest on the heavenly planets. All heavenly demigods, including King Indra, Rikshatra of Navarch, which were marked with the country above, appeared given name Nipat Kalach. O King, descendant of Ajamika, at the present moment I am bereft Supreme Personality Godhead, by whose influence I was so powerful.
Sure. Yeah.
The military strength of the Kauravas was like an ocean in which there dwelled many invincible existences. Thus, it was insurmountable. But because of his friendship, I seated on the chariot, was able to cross over it, and only by his grace was I able to regain the cows and also collect by force many helmets of the kings, which were bedecked with jewels that were sources of all brilliance.
Thank you.
It was he only who withdrew the duration of life from everyone, and who in the battlefield withdrew the speculative power and strength of the enthusiasm from the great military phalanx made by the Kauravas, headed by Bhishma, Karna, Drona, Salya, etc. Their arrangement was expert and more than adequate, but he, Lord Shri Krishna, while going forward, did all this.
Great generals like Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Bhishma, Susana, Sala. Oh,
Bahilka.
Our directors, they are invisible weapons against me, but by his Lord Krishna grace they could not even touch a hair on my head. Similarly, from Radha Maharaj, the supreme devotee of Lord Narasimha was faced by the weapons the demons used against him.
Thank you. Okay, we'll continue again. Yes.
It was by his mercy only that my enemies neglected to kill me when I descended from my chariot to get water for my thirsty horses. It was due to my lack of esteem for my Lord that I dared engage him as my chariot driver, for he is worshipped and offered services by the best men to attain salvation.
Yeah, so this is an important verse. You know what happened when Abhimanyu was killed? The next day, Arjuna said, I will have to kill And he fights very, very rigorously because Jayadratha had to be killed, right? And Kaurava had created such a placement of all the army that Jayadratha was far off in the behind, and everybody were protecting only him. That was the goal. The FIFA is going on, right? And when they win, they want to protect. Like 5-10 minutes earlier, they will only defeat. They will not attack. That's how they do. A lot of people, right? So they were all doing. Kauravas were only defending of that, no attacking. And Arjun was fighting. It was become exhausted. And it was a very intense fight that he ever had. So what happens is that all the horses, they get very tired, right? So what Arjun does, Arjun creates a wall of arrows around, and he puts the arrow and brings out the water. Now Krishna is taking care of all the ashvas, the horses. He's taking care of them. And Arjun was in the chariot and is standing down. So think of this. Somebody who is not on his chariot can be killed very easily. Especially then he doesn't have a chariot driver. He doesn't have horses. So he's like a barefoot soldier standing on the ground. But look at what he's saying. My enemies ignored me. Now it happens many times. Krishna can bewilder. There's someone sitting in front of us. I cannot even notice them, right? We just bewilder. This is what happens here. So you can see how Krishna is so merciful towards Arjun. Arjun is recollecting all this wonderful, pastimes that happened with him. And he is calling, Krishna, you are so merciful. I am so grateful. And without me, without you, what happened to me now? So he is very, very overwhelmed with all these emotions. So we can see that. Okay, let's go and read the next one. Yes, Tamya, can you read, please?
O king, his jokings and frank talks were pleasing and beautifully decorated with smiles. His addresses unto me as, O son of Pitha, O friend, O son of Kuru dynasty, and all such heartiness are now remembered by me, and thus I am overwhelmed.
Thank you.
Generally, both of us used to live together and sleep, sit, and loiter together. At the time of advertising oneself for acts of chivalry, sometimes if there were any irregularity, I used to reproach him by saying, My friend, you are very truthful. Even in these hours when his value was minimized, he, being the Supreme Lord, used to tolerate all those utterings of mine, promising me exactly as a true friend excuses his true friend, or a father excuses his son.
Thank you. Yes.
O Emperor, now I am separated from my friend and dear most well-wisher, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore my heart appears to be void of everything. In his absence I have been defeated by a number of infidel, cowherd men, while I was guarding the bodies of all the wives of Krishna.
Okay, so now we have come to the words that we are supposed to talk about today. So now he is feeling Krishna's absence and what Arjun says. So this verse is spoken by Arjun. So let's recite this verse and then we'll go and do some discussion on this topic. Tadvai dhanusta ishava sarathoya hayaste. Tadvai dhanusta ishava sarathoya hayaste. Soham rathi nrupatayo yat anamanti. Soham rathi nrupatayo yat anamanti. Sarvam kshanena tadabhu dasadisha riktam. Sarvam kshanena tadabhu Basman hutam kuhakaratamivopatam ushyam. Basman hutam kuhakaratamivopatam ushyam. Okay, so let me read the translation. It says, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. I have the very same Gandhi bow, the same arrows, the same chariot drawn by the same horses, and I use them as the same Arjun. to whom all the kings offered their due respects. But in the absence of Lord Krishna, all of them, at the moment's notice, have become null and void. It is exactly like offering clarified butter on ashes, accumulating money with a magic wand, or sowing seeds on barren land. So you'll read the purport, the short purport, we'll do discussion then. Purport. As we have discussed more than once, one should not be puffed up by borrowed plums. Prabhupada starts with a very strong statement in the beginning. All energies and powers are derived from the Supreme Source, Lord Krishna, and they act as long as he desires and ceases to function as soon as he withdraws. All electrical energies are received from the powerhouse, and as soon as the powerhouse stops supplying energy, the bulbs are of no use. In a moment's time, such energies can be generated or withdrawn by the supreme will of the Lord. Material civilization, without the blessings of the Lord, is child's play only. As long as all the parents allow the child to play, it is all right. As soon as the parents withdrew, the child has to stop. Human civilizations and all activities thereof must be dovetailed with the supreme blessings of the Lord. And without His blessings, all advancement of human civilization is like decoration on a dead body. It is said here that a dead civilization and its activities are something like clarified butter on ashes, the accumulation of money by a magic wand, and sowing of seeds in a barren land. So this is a very beautiful verse. When someone becomes very proud or puffed up with their abilities, with talent that they have, then we can remind them of this verse. I mean, we can just tell, or we should, in fact, this for us, we should remind ourselves. When we sing a nice bhajan, kirtan, and people applaud, immediately we should reflect to Krishna that because of you gave me this ability, I'm able to sing. Right? Of course, with practice one can become a good at it, but the talent naturally comes. Talent naturally comes, and we make it better through practice. Right? So, let's say JAGANNATH Prabhu is cooking, right? So he cooks very nicely. So he got a talent. But if he tried to cook, some of us, we may not be that great cook. Yeah, because we don't have that talent. We may try, but it happens that it might turn out to be something not so great. We may not ourselves like it. So we have to always be grateful to Krishna for whatever He has given to all of us. All of us, anything that is we have, right? So that is Krishna. And we just read the verse, right? Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langai tatkirim. This verse itself says that Krishna can make somebody who is mute start speaking, and somebody who cannot even walk, he can climb the mountain. So why? Because Krishna gives this ability. And if you go to Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, chapter 10, chapter 15, everywhere Krishna says, I am this, I am that, everywhere he says. And in the 7th chapter he says, in Rasoham Apsu Konte, in that he says, Paurusham Nrushu. He says in the last line, Paurusham Nrushu means the ability in man. Anything that we have in us, it is because of Krishna has given us. So without that we cannot do anything. And that's what Srila Prabhupada gives examples here, that the modern civilization making lots of advancement. Lots of advancement are happening. Scientific research and progress are happening, right? We can just tap and send money to someone. We can tap and book an airline ticket. So fast, everything is very quick. Just by touch of phone, you can do so many things. But Prabhupada also mentions, when he gave a lecture in Los Angeles, he speaks about this, that when all this advancement is done without keeping Krishna in mind, it is done without God consciousness, then it is of no use. It is of no use. Right? So therefore, we should always, that's exactly what Arjuna is feeling. So you look at this first verse, first line of the verse. He says, Tadvai Dhanush. Tadvai Dhanush means, when Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking Arjun, he's asking him, Arjun, you were defeated, but did you not have your own Gandiv? So he says, Nahi. He says, Tadvai Dhanus. He says, yes, Dhanus was mine. Yahi tha. This was the only thing. The Gandiv was same Gandiv that I had. Then another question that Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking is that, okay, so did you not have your quiver where you have keep all the, the arrows and all that? He says, yes. He says, yes. The same quiver, Ishvaha, arrows. Ishvaha means arrows. He says, yes, arrows are also there. Arjun had a quiver where he will never have, he will never go out of arrows. He will have always get refilled automatically. Like, we have auto recharge. So you get auto refill like that. So he says, even arrows were there. There was nothing. Then he says, okay, then was the chariot same? It was not the chariot of the war because that got finished, but of course he had a different chariot. So he uses that chariot for fighting. He says, did you not have chariot? No, it was the same chariot that I used to fight and defeat so many kings. Then what about the horses? Even the horses, no, same Ashwa, same horses. Look at Hayate. The same horses were there. Then Arjun, were you the same Arjun or somebody else? No, I am the same Arjun who defeated so many kings. Look at these questions, because Yudhishthira Maharaj cannot understand how Arjun could be defeated. So he's asking questions. Is it because you did not have your bow? No, I had. Did you not have quiver? Yes, I have. Did you not have your, the chariot, the Ashwa? Or were you the same person? He says, no, I'm the same person. So it's like astonished. How could Arjun be defeated? And here, the defeat actually, is mentioned that the defeat is not by the superior. See, when someone gets defeated by superior, then it's okay. Like if Arjuna was defeated by Bhishmadev, then Arjun said, that's for fine, because Bhishmadev is very superior to him. But if Arjun gets defeated by Karna, who is like, parallel or lower than him, then it is like a shame, right? So when we get defeated by somebody who is lower than us, then we feel, what happened? So this is what is happening here. Because here, the Arjun, when he was bringing all the queens and Dwarkavasis back from, Dwarka to Hastinapur, so how many queens he was bringing back?
16,000.
Is that all number? Anything? Any other number? 16,000, one number. All of them is not number. Number.
The number of wives is 16,100.
One. How many wives? How many queens were he was bringing from Dwarka to Hastinapur? That's a question. The trivia question. Yes.
16,108.
Okay, 180. Any other number?
16,001.
1 lakh.
1 lakh. From where? Why guess? We have books, Prabhupada book. We are not reading. Yeah. 108. Sure. Any other number?
That's like the number of wives, but did all of them
No.
back?
Yeah, all of them came back. But he brought 16,100. The 8 went with Krishna. So 8 were the primary, the queens, right? So they all went back with Krishna, but 16,100 he was bringing back. So when he was bringing back the infidel, the word infidel means, infidel gopas. It means like who are Gnostic, who are like a non-believer kind of thing. So they defeated Arjun. Now this is very astonishing to understand how somebody who are like a cowherd boys who could defeat Arjun. So actually, very beautifully explained by, Shivram Swami in one of his book. He mentions that when Arjun was bringing all these wives and other people from Dwarka, this infidel came and attacked Arjun. And Arjun was trying to use his bow. He couldn't even tie his, what we call it, a string to the bow. He couldn't even tie. And he was not even he tried to call mantra because, at that time you can just meditate, call mantra and the weapon will come. That's how. You don't carry all the time, but you just meditate. He tried, he couldn't even bring any of the celestial, divya, astra. He couldn't do that. He tried to use other weapon that he had. He couldn't even use it. So those Gopas, they said they were standing and laughing at Arjuna. What is this he's doing? You can't even do this. You can't even tie your, string to your bow. How can you fight? It's like that. So he was feeling very shameless. Shameful. What happened? I'm not able to use my bow. I can't call my celestial weapons. I couldn't use any of my weapon. What is this? And all those Gopas, they took away 16,100 queens with them. So Arjuna was like very humiliated. And the news spread. There was no WhatsApp, but it spread everywhere that Arjuna was defeated by infidels like this. Now Arjuna is known as an undefeatable warrior, right? But when this kind of news spread, then what happens? It's a very shameful thing, especially for a Kshatriya, right? When a singer comes to perform and he's not able to sing and he's supposed to be the top singer, then people say, oh, no, he can't sing, properly, it's very difficult. So Arjun felt like that. So this is what happened actually in that place. So Arjun is now telling that why he was not able to do that. He understands now that, it was the same bow, it was the same arrow, same chariot, same Ashwa, same Arjun, but Arjun was not able to use his power that he had because Krishna has withdrew those power and Krishna has gone back. So Krishna gives us the power as long as we need it. The moment that power is gone, that means that power is not required. Now many times we feel that only if I sing very well, I can please Krishna. If I play nice karthal, nice mudanga, then I can please Krishna. Maybe I can offer nice bhoga, I can cook, I can please Krishna. Maybe I can do nice shringar. Maybe I can go to altar and do the shringar. Maybe then Krishna will be pleased. Maybe I do a nice arati and Krishna will be pleased. Actually, no talent is required to please Krishna. We don't need any talents. Talents are required to serve Krishna. And especially when we want to go back to Godhead, we don't need any talent. We only need sincere heart. That is the most important thing. Many times we say, no, because I don't have this, I'm not able to do service. And envy breeds in our mind when somebody is doing better than us in the same field. Right? And because of that, what happens? Our spiritual progress becomes stagnant. It doesn't move forward. Because now we see others performing well as envy, that they are doing better than me, because I don't have that talent. But as described in our scripture, we don't need any talent to go back to Godhead. Whatever we have, whatever talent we have, whatever intelligence we have, that is enough for us to go back to Godhead. This is a very important thing. We are trying to acquire so much thing. Yes, no problem in learning new skills, new instrument, absolutely no problem. As long as our intention is to serve Krishna, please Vaishnavas. The moment we say, I'm going to learn these new skills, I'm going to take this new classes and all that, so that I get recognition, then that's going to become an impediment in our progress. So we have to always think about these words, which mentioned by Arjun, that in absence of Krishna, all of them at a moment's notice have become null and void. Within a moment, it goes away. And Prabhupada gives beautiful words in the purport, right? In a purport, he says that without these blessings, all the advancement, means Krishna's blessing, all the advancement of human civilization is like decoration on a dead body. Many times in India especially, when somebody leaves the body is decorated with lots of ornaments, nice sari or dress and all those things. Now, for a body, does it make any difference? No difference at all. But only the onlookers who are seeing it may say, oh, this looks so beautiful, nice and all that. Which is fine to do that, but for a body it doesn't make any difference because the soul has gone. Similarly, for us, all our ability goes away. Then Even if you dress nicely and all that, if ability is not there, what's the point? So, Prabhupada gives this example, and further it is giving that it's like, when Pujari is doing yagya, when yagya happens, if the Pujari, Pandit is putting the ghee on the ashes, then only smoke is going to come out, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Fire will not come. So, it is like putting clarified butter on ashes. Right? When Krishna is not there, this is what happens. When Krishna is not there in our life, this is what is going to happen. Then another example is given, the accumulation of money by a magic wand. Many times magician, what they do? And they bring money. If they were able to produce money, they would have become billionaire by now, isn't it? But they have money which cannot be used anywhere. And third example which is given here, sowing seed in a barren land. There is no rain, no fertile land. You sow a seed, it's just going to become dry, nothing will grow. So when Krishna does not remain in our life, then our life becomes absolutely null and void. We may have lots of opulences. That's what is happening in this world today. People have lots of opulences. They are prosperous, they have money. Everything is there, but they are not happy. They are not at all happy. But a devotee, on the other side, may not have all these things. But despite that, they remain happy. They do so much endeavor to please Krishna, Vaishnavas, and they remain still happy. Without any remuneration, they are able to serve. Prabhupada used to say, look at all these boys, when he brings all the Westerners into India first time. All the other Vaishnavas who are there, they are surprised at how come they have come. The Prabhupada says, they have given up all the opulences they had. They have come from very rich families, many of them. They have given up. And what were they doing with Prabhupada? They were living in places which were filled with rats and mosquitoes and cockroaches. And was Prabhupada paying them anything? Nothing. So when Krishna becomes center in our life, then what happens? We are always happy in any condition that we are kept into. This is a very important thing. Because many times we say, only if situation is better, I can do my bhakti. Many times people feel like that. Oh, I am in Toronto, I am in west side of the world, so I am able to do bhakti. If I go back to India, I may not be able to do bhakti. So when I had this question, before I was coming in US, I asked my Siksha Guru that, I'm doing bhakti here, how is it in the US? But I had never had an experience of coming to US before, so I don't know how it was. Will I get association? Will there be same temple? Can we do seva? All these questions were there, so I asked him. So he replied very beautifully. He says, if you are sincere, the place and circumstances should not impact your bhakti. If we are sincere, if our goal is fixed, this is my goal, then any impediment that comes in between should not impact us. Then he gave an example of Mother Ganga, that she has to meet the sea. She goes through so many obstacles, just because big rock has come, the Ganga does, I cannot go now. It will find a way and go from other side and it reaches. So similarly, in our life also, if our goal is fixed, if you have kept Krishna in center, then nothing should impact us. The Prabhupada in his lecture, he gives example of Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. Ravana had so much knowledge. Right? He knew all the Vedas. But because he was not God conscious, he in fact fought with Lord Ramachandra. Because he was not God conscious. Hiranyakashipu, same thing. He had so much power. He tried to become immortal. And he was like immortal. Nothing could, until Krishna in the form of Nrsimhadev intervened and shortened his lifespan. He was undefeatable. So when people have this power, talent, wealth, they become really puffed up. But we see from the scripture, example of Ravana, Hiranyakashipu and all that those are of no use when Krishna intervenes in our life. If there is no God consciousness, then that's where the defeats will happen. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives two specific examples of the electric house. That day we had a dark and Mani Prabhu gave class in the temple room. Right? There was no electricity in the morning. So can we produce electricity on our own? No, it's gone. So powerhouse is gone. So that means we cannot. We may have an inverter to run fuel, bulbs and so fans and all that. But it's not dark. We cannot do anything. But by the way, that day, Kichor Gopinath were looking so beautiful in the bright dress, because I was able to, first time we see it. We don't see this kind of view, but that day, those darshan was very divine. So, yeah, so Krishna is like a powerhouse connection. If we are connected to Krishna, then everything goes well. But as soon as we disconnect, then there's going to be darkness. So other example Prabhupada gives in this purport is that the child can play. A small child, younger child, can play as long as parents allow them to play. The moment they say, "Chalo beta aa jao, please come home," child has to stop and go home. Once they become adult, they refuse. That's a different thing. So this is what our condition is. We refuse to Krishna. Oh Krishna, who you are. We don't recognize him. We don't recognize Krishna's hand in anything that happens in our life, because now we have grown up and we don't want to listen to our parents. Krishna is the seed-giving Father, he is our Supreme Father. And when we don't listen to him, when we don't listen to means what? We have to read the scriptures. Krishna is telling us through the scriptures. And when we read this, when we hear Hari Katha from the advanced devotees, then we understand what Krishna's intention is. So, these particular words that Arjuna speaks is extremely important in anything that we do in our life. Because this is the one thing, the ego, the puffed upness, the pride that we carry can just bring us down. It's like, we used to build this castle with the cards. Playing cards, we used to make that. And with just one puff of, it all comes down. So Krishna's power is like that. We are building all big castles, but one thing and then all goes away. So we got to be very, very, very careful, and we have to learn from these words that everything we do, we should immediately pass it. As soon as we get glorification, we should pass it on to Krishna. That because of you, Krishna, I have this. But it's hard to do that. When you are getting so much glorification, it's not easy to... Krishna, I also did so much, isn't it? I was singing, I was doing riyas for so long, and now the Kirtan Mela is coming, I'm singing nicely because I also put in effort. That comes in our heart. And it's very difficult to surrender to Krishna at that time. No, it is me, Krishna. I know you gave me, but I put so much effort. I was singing day and night. So that comes up. So if you want to please Krishna, the best way is to, whatever ability he has given, is offer it back to him. When you offer it back to him for his pleasure, not for getting likes and claps and all that, those are temporary. Those are all temporary. Look at big, famous personalities in this world. Who remembers them nowadays? Nobody remembers. Those were famous once upon a time. People were like dying to see them. Now nobody is even talking about them. So when such great and famous personality is defeated like this by the time, what to speak of us? So whenever something like this happens in our life, we can go back to this verse, we can remind ourselves that Krishna, anything that I am able to do is because you gave me this ability. I'm very grateful to you. I want to offer all my service to you using this ability that you've given me. Right? So that's what is being given to him. So I want to just go back to one verse, because there I have made some notes, and it's very important to do that. So in the verse number 5, so let's go to verse number 5. There's maybe a few things here. Yeah. So here he says he had lost all the powers, right? In this one, he says he's got all the power, that he was able to defeat demigods and everyone, but he lost the power. So in a purport, Prabhupada writes very beautiful things. And I made some notes additionally on that. So, lack of skill is not a disqualification to execute devotional service. Gaurang Darshan Prabhuji says that lack of skill is not a disqualification to execute devotional service or to go back to Godhead. So we should not feel insecure because I don't have this ability. Many times we feel insecure. Oh, I'm not able to sing this. I can't play Mridanga Kartal. No. Of course, we should try to put an effort. It should not become like, oh, no, anyway, it's not required, so why should I learn? That should not be the attitude. Attitude is that we should learn so we can please, right? But if we don't get it for some reason, then we don't have to feel that, oh, I'm disqualified because, oh, maybe Krishna is not showering his mercy, that's why I'm not able to sing nicely. No. Krishna has a different plan for you. Krishna has a different plan for everyone. If everyone plays Mridanga, everyone cooks, then what happens to other services? There are so many services, right? Who will do pot cleaning? Then only Radha Gopinath Prabhuji will keep doing pot cleaning. But when he gets support, it looks nice. So this is very important to learn that, that we don't need ability and we don't have to feel very low that I don't have, therefore I cannot execute my services. No. We should put all the effort, all the endeavor and pray to Krishna. Krishna, I want to please you, serve you, please give me this ability. And Krishna can give this ability. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in Vrindavan, he was doing parikrama. And he had joint pains. So he prayed that, I cannot do parikrama, Govardhan parikrama. So he prayed intensely. And for that time of parikrama, he did not feel pain. So Krishna reciprocates. Okay, you want to serve me? No problem. I will help you. So it's like that. So we all have to understand that if you don't have certain qualities, certain skills, it's not at all a disqualification. Right? Because sometimes the skills may become impediment also in our life. They may become impediment in our life. So with that, we'll pause here and see if there are any questions or any reflections, any comment anybody has on what we discussed today. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for such a wonderful class. Prabhu, I have a question regarding the recent point that you mentioned, that Krishna reciprocates, and you gave the example of Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Yeah.
Right, that he prayed to Krishna intensely that I have knee pain, but I wanted to go over the parikrama. So, in a sense, he got instant results. So, what's going on with recent times that we are praying and we are thinking that results will come instantly, such as if I'm learning to play Mridanga, I'm praying to Nityananda Prabhu, I want to serve you, I want to play Mridanga for you. And then at the next time when I'm playing, I'm thinking that, oh, I should be learning or I should be knowing everything. So how to get detached from that personal feeling that, oh, Krishna has to give me because I'm praying now. I'm praying with that intense desire.
Yeah, so it's a good question. One thing we should understand that the results are not in our hand. We have to put our efforts. So if you keep practicing, because now we are expecting a result, I should be able to play nicely. So your focus is on result, then the practice. So you focus on what we are doing. If you focus on what we are supposed to do, then we'll be able to execute that much better than thinking about result. If you think about result or destinations, I am driving a car, for example. I want to go to the airport. Now I keep thinking I have to go to airport, then I may miss some red lights. I may not be able to take the right exit. I may get deviated from my destination. So while the destination is our goal, we should also focus on what we are doing on a day-to-day basis. What I'm doing now. Am I following the rules and regulation of the road, speed limit, the red light, the exit, the lane discipline, all these things. So in case of Mridanga, yes, I should focus on my tal. Am I playing the right way? Am I practicing enough? I am supposed to practice half an hour. Am I doing it? We are thinking I want to play in a Kirtan Mela. But am I practicing? See, there are, that day one devotee showed me one video. That video is not about devotional, but about how intense somebody can do practice. So there is a program called Darbar, if you have heard of this, Darbar, which happens in UK. It's very astonishing. Okay, that video was shown. And there's one Mataji, there's vocal. I mean, we cannot even imitate. Okay? So how she was taught, that whole video was shown to me by a devotee. And he showed that how when she was young, how her father put her to practice, intense practice. And he put that into life. And today, when you see, and she's performing flawlessly, and she's the most sought after personality for this kind of show. She's the best in the world. Okay, I don't remember her name, but she's the best in the world. Maybe you know it. So, her father was asked once, because the devotee happened to meet her father in US somewhere. Okay, how do you do this? How much hours of practice? He said, I practice for 14 hours every day. 14 hours of riyaz every day. Minimum. This is minimum. Okay, someday he might do more. So, what he learned, from who is the sitar vadan? Our Santur, no, sitar or Santur? I don't remember. Ravi Shankar. Yeah, Pandit Ravi Shankar. So, Sri Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, when he went to the US, because of, he was to perform for about 4-hour concert. That concert got cancelled because there was some short circuit on the stage which was built. And obviously it's a risk. They cannot have eminent personalities coming on the stage and then something happens. So it was a fire hazard and all this. So it was cancelled. So now Pandit Ravi Shankar ji had a time. What will we do? We go around in the city and see what's happening, isn't it? Some festival going on, some nice restaurant, food and all the stuff. For those 4 hours where he was to perform, he was performing in his room without audience. So what it teaches us that if we are supposed to do certain thing, we don't have to wait for the stage and personal, surrounding and nothing of that sort. We have to do what we are supposed to do, even if we are alone. Like Srila Prabhupada ji, he gave class to the 4 walls. Is it not? He did not wait, I must have some audience, then I will speak. No, he just gave. So, when we become sincere in what we are supposed to do, the result will automatically come. I gave this example because it really motivated me that if we have to do something, if you have to achieve something, we have to give in something. That is there, no pain, no gain. And of course, Krishna's mercy definitely comes, no question about it. But we have to put our effort. We have to go back to the Damodar Lila 2-finger, endeavor and mercy. Are we putting enough endeavor? Then the mercy will come. We expect mercy first. And then endeavor is like very limited. Krishna, I am doing little bit, na? Please. But you have to put more endeavor, then mercy automatically comes. Mercy will come. Mother Yashoda tried so much. Initially, she struggled. Her hair become loose, garland become loose, everything. She was perspiring just to mind Krishna. Then Krishna saw, she is putting so much effort. Then he became merciful. Yes, Krishna sees our intention. What intention we are trying to do. So, intention is very important in anything that we do in Krishna consciousness. Very important. With what consciousness am I performing this activity? It is devotional service or whatever service it may be. Our intention, our consciousness through which we are rendering that service is at the center, which attracts Krishna's attention. Krishna is not attracted by how beautifully we play music instrument, how beautifully we sing, how beautifully we cook. He's not pleased with this. He's pleased with our intention behind all those things. What is your intention? Krishna is in our heart, he sees everything. Right? So nothing is hidden from him. Sorry, long answer, but I hope this helps. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, yes, Sarthak Prabhu.
Just a small comment. I like the point when you mentioned about the talent is not to serve Krishna. So talent is to serve Krishna, but talent is not like to please him, something like that.
Yeah, talent is to serve Krishna, but it is not necessary to go back to God. It is not required for that. It is not required. Whatever we need to go back to Krishna is already with us. All of us have that. And for that matter, everybody in this world has that ability to go back to Krishna. We don't need to acquire additional qualification, not required. If you work in a company, then they ask you, do this certification. You finish it. After 2 years, no, you'll do this also to stay in the company, isn't it? Krishna is very merciful. He doesn't say, you have to do Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma. Nothing, he doesn't say anything of this. Then what to do? What's the point in learning all these things? But we cannot implement even one shloka of this in our life. Yes, Tamil. Hare Krishna.
It's so nice to hear from you after a long time.
Yeah, good to see you. Back.
My question is, you said that if you're sincere, then you should be able to do bhakti anywhere and everywhere. My question is that how do you distinguish between the lack of sincerity and going through a difficult period of time? Like when Prabhupada was there for 1 year in US, for the first year, he was going through a difficult phase.
Yes.
And he thought many times to go back. So he wasn't not sincere. He was going through hard times. How do you distinguish between the two? Because if you said you're sincere, then it should be easy. You'll be able to do it anywhere.
Yeah, good question. So, Srila Prabhupada ji, we'll take the same example. When Srila Prabhupada ji thought of going back, and we'll go to the customs, says I want to go back, and then he keeps going all the time, and he doesn't go back. So while he was thinking about that, he always had one thing in his mind, that my Guru has given me this instruction to preach in the West. So he was reminded himself of these instructions. And though temporarily he was feeling that, no, I'm not able to do it, and I'm not getting any support, he's getting rejection from everywhere, he felt like, it's not happening, I must go. But then he again came back. So similarly, when we go through a difficult phase in our life, and we feel that, oh, I'm not getting proper support, I'm not getting opportunity to serve, that means we are going through a difficult time. But does it mean that we should give it up? Prabhupada never gave it up. He thought of, something happens in the temple and says, no, I'm not going to come to the temple. It happens. Many devotees, they stop coming to the temple for some reason. Somebody did not give prasad or rasgulla was not given. He says, I will not come now. It happens. I have seen it. Some places happen like that. But if we are sincere, we will be able to overcome these temporary difficulties that we have in our life. The difficulties that we have in our life is Krishna is testing our sincerity. Okay, if I bring this difficulty, will you be able to chant? Okay, I'll bring you to a very frigid region of this world. Will you be able to wake up and come to Mangalarti? Will you come to do service in the hot season? What will be your condition? So Krishna creates a situation to test our sincerity. Yes, difficulty is there, but we have to overcome them by keeping the goal in our mind. Like the example which I gave, the 14 hours of riyas every day, right? The child, when if you look at the video, the child was repeatedly interrupted by his father because the child was not singing in the right tune. He said, no, again, again. And she does like 15 times, his father interrupts her. Now she's going through a difficult time. But if she had given up at that time, oh no, then she wouldn't become the world, greatest singer today. So similarly, in our life also, sincerity means that I am focused on my goal, but will go through the difficult situations. But my goal is fixed. So we never give up on that. Difficulty is not something that we have invented, we bring in our life. It comes uninvited most of the time. But what keeps us going is our enthusiasm, our patience, our confidence in the process, and our sincerity. So when anything happens in our life, we should go back to the nectar of instructions. That's a basic thing which is mentioned. Ussaha, Nischaya, Dhairyat. These three things are required for bhakti. We should always be enthusiastic in executing our service. We should have the confidence in the process. And we should have patience in Krishna's mercy. That Krishna will shower His mercy. Sooner or later, I'll get the grace. And then these difficulties which are temporary, we can overcome that. So that's how I see it.
So what I understand is that, as you said, difficulties come uninvited.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily a sign of being insincere. They're just there.
Yeah.
And being sincere means being focused on the goal and kind of going through every difficulty and just passing through, learning things and keeping that goal centered.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada's emphasis on instruction of his guru is very strong. I think that kept him going.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to always look at it. So our purpose, if our purpose is higher, then these difficulties will not intervene in between that. But if we don't have the purpose, then this difficulty will look so big that we cannot even proceed. When we keep the purpose on the higher side, okay, this is my purpose of my life. I want to do this. I want to attain Krishna's love, Krishna's mercy. Then we go through all the difficulties in our life. They seem very small to us. Like that we have to see. So, yeah, that's how we can think. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarupyasya kripa sindhuvyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta Parimeshwarindi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.